commission peace and guidance to make decisions in accordance with you. We ask for wisdom over Irma, that you would guide her decisions on a daily basis to be able to grow and prosper the city in your way. And I ask for safety and goodness over the employees too for the city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote, please.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
All right, we will open it up at this time for remarks or inquiries by the audience not pertaining to any item on the agenda. I do want to remind you that we can't respond, and we limit that to 2 minutes. So if anybody would like to, please come and stand up here at the podium.
Okay, thanks for this opportunity. First thing I want to do is sincerely thank you for serving, all of you that serve in your positions, including our city manager, and I was going to pass this along to the clerk, see she's not there. I know it's not easy. I've experienced it before, a couple of different times. However, I have a concern I want to share with you tonight. And what my goal has been was to get you to have an agenda item, give yourself the authority to renegotiate the purchase of the Pelican Street Sweeper that you agreed to sell back in February. And I've been told that that's not going to be considered, and I don't know how one person can figure out to come to that conclusion without talking amongst you to come to that conclusion. But in any case, so, and I know you can't respond, I knew that before I got up here, but I do have some questions for you to be thinking about. Who advised you that the Pelican Sweeper was no longer serviceable? Again, I request that you, at some point soon, reconsider trying to repurchase it. I don't know that it's even repurchasable, but it's still here in town. I'm curious if you plan to sweep our streets. They haven't been swept since that one was parked. I'm curious about what value y'all consider qualifying as surplus, because that was certainly worth more than $5,000 in anybody's book, and it only brought 1,100, had 1,600 hours on it. If anybody is hard-headed enough, not necessarily you, but friends of yours or other acquaintances that think that thing isn't fixable at a very low rate, send them to me, because I'd like to bet them some serious cash. They can call the number. It's not running yet. I mean, it's running, but it's not sweeping, but it will be shortly. And anyway, a couple other quick things. You guys get some bad advice, sell that for $1,100, but turn around and spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000, I'm told, for a excavator. And I'm curious how we think Mangum can afford that kind of money for an excavator to tear some houses down when we've got contractors around here that can do it and have been doing it. Seems like that money could have been better spent. And I'm curious when the last time we sealed and chipped some streets. I've been told by a retired city guy that they don't think that we've done it since about 2000. And hopefully somebody's advised y'all that that's the only way that you're going to protect that street base is by doing that. And be interesting to know if you have a plan or what your plan is, or when you do put a plan together. And just in case anybody, because I know how rumors go in Mangum. I was born here in the museum in '57, so I've seen a few things. I'm not looking for a job. My wife was giving me a hard time. I hope she was kidding that I need to go get a job. And I jokingly asked her, who in the heck do you think would even hire me? Because I've gotten old and cranky, and apologize for that. I am going to apologize for one thing that was brought to my attention by one of you. whenever I looked at the agenda, I had some experience with MuniCode, and I didn't see the list of the surplus property. And so I did insinuate to a few people that I told this story to that I was concerned that you hadn't had a list to look at. And by that brings me to another point. 3 of the 5 of you told me that you didn't know that it had sold. And it's kind of a personal thing, but I'd talked to the last administration and to this administration about purchasing it myself and fixing it, because I had an inclination that it wouldn't cost much to fix it. And I didn't even, nobody even, and some of the employees, and nobody even bothered to call me to let me know that it was for sale. My time's up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Anyone else? All right, we will move on to reports. Item 6, financial report for April 2024 by the interim city manager.
Okay, board, I apologize. I have been out on medical leave for 2 weeks, and so I tried to gather up everything today and go over the financials from last year to this year on our regular revenues that we get. And let you guys know we're higher and lower. This year, in our sales tax compared to last year, in April, we are down about $10,000. Our use tax is up this year. Our alcoholic beverages are up this year, so those are all pretty good numbers. Our interest is up. Our interest income that we get every month is way high than it was last year at this time, so that's very good for us. Our fines and fees are down compared to last year, about $500. And let's see, our cigarette tax is down. Also, it is due to our audits, and those sales tax, the gas tax that we were getting, those are down because our audits are still not complete. I'll inform you all that our auditors are working on 2 years together, and they're gonna present those at the exact same time, so that will be wrapping up pretty soon. Again, they're very short-handed, like Corey said last time, or Mr. Kendall said last time, everybody is behind on their audit, so they're going to be 2 of our years together, so we'll have a financial statements pretty soon.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Chief Taylor for the police report for April 2024.
Good evening. It was a simple month. We have the most calls we've ever had, though, 452 calls for service, 33 animal calls, 4 assaults, breaking and entering, 3 disturbances, 5 EMS calls, 166 calls for information, 2 intoxicated individuals, larceny, emergency order of detention, 5 open doors while out on patrol, removing subjects from properties, 8 requests to speak to officers, search warrant where stolen property was recovered, shots fired call, 2 stalking calls, 4 stolen property calls, 8 suspicious individuals. But when it comes to all this, our report volume is 17 reports, and out of those we had 4 arrests and 5 had charges pending. So, pending any questions, thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. All right, item 8, discussion of possible action to approve resolution number 2024-0611-01, a resolution of the City of Mangum, Oklahoma, adopting the annual budget for the City of Mangum, Oklahoma for the fiscal year 2025.
Mayor, we had a budget retreat a couple of weeks ago before I went into surgery. We discussed our future plans for Mangum. I talked to the board members about a 5-year plan to replace and buy, not replace, but buy a digger truck, so we have that in the future, so that's in our 5-year plan. And pertaining to the remarks that we just had a little bit ago, we do have in our current budget this year, if people would have attended the retreat, we do have the streets our streets department, our superintendent, and every other employee is working super hard to try to get this town, the city cleaned up, and, streets are a major part of this year's budget. So, that's what I wanna say regarding the fiscal year.
All right, a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year budget for 2025.
Second,
Second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Item 9, discussion and possible action regarding adopting an ordinance setting building requirements for tiny homes built within the corporate city limits of Mangum, Oklahoma.
Steve and I have been talking about that several times. Basically, this is becoming a new trend. There's a lot of towns that have done something to address it, building requirements, et cetera. I went online and I looked through several of the other cities' code books. Some of them have taken essentially their mobile home ordinance and included just tiny homes in that to require certain size requirements and stuff like that. Others have done a strict prohibition to them, and others have made no regulation on it. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you about it, so that we can start having that conversation to figure out how y'all feel about it and what kind of ordinance you'd like to see done. And if Steve has anything else to add, I mean, I don't mind yielding to him.
There's no state requirements as of right now, and they leave it up to the local people.
And right now, our ordinance does have certain building sizes and restrictions for a mobile home. So for example, if they was gonna buy like a little shed and convert it, it has to meet certain square footage requirements and stuff like that. But some tiny homes are built from the ground up, as if there's a normal house, which doesn't technically fall under our mobile home or modular home ordinance. So essentially, that's kind of what y'all wanna do. Do we want to, it's because in my mind, it doesn't make sense that we're restricting sizes on modular homes, but if it's, brick and mortar ground up, that we would have no restrictions at all. And right now, we don't have it.
So we need to look at creating an ordinance
Yeah.
specifically for tiny homes regardless if it's mobile or not mobile.
Correct, and we can do something simple as that by taking our mobile/modular home ordinance and incorporate all the tiny home regulations there, where, like I said, you could do more than that, or you could ban them all together. I mean, or do nothing. So that's kind of been the trend throughout the state of Oklahoma, because I looked at several. I looked at like Tulsa, Norman, Oklahoma City, and some other ones as well. Like for example, Blair. What Blair did was they just took their modular home ordinances and incorporated those to also apply to tiny homes as well.
Do you know why some places would prohibit them? Like what the thinking is behind not having them?
Well, the news articles that I saw that addressed that didn't really go into the why, just that the board chose not to implement any regulations, is all I could find. Can't remember what specific town that was, but it was kind of in the news for a little bit, and then ultimately the city council voted to not put any restrictions in place. But as far as banning goes, was that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Because I was asking, okay, sorry, I was going the other direction. As far as banning goes, I think it has to do with curb appeal, property values, things, typical stuff that usually goes into the analysis when people purchase homes and dwelling size and all that, because all that's gonna affect, your neighbor's property values.
So could we put in the ordinance some restrictions to make sure that they are, or I guess requirements to make sure that they look nice and they don't devalue property?
Well, they're probably gonna devalue property regardless, you can't really prevent that. But if we just take the modular home ordinance and include the tiny house rules with it, that would also include an avenue where for them to get it permitted, they would have to go get neighbor consent, like they would a modular home, and also ultimately, y'all would have the final decision on whether you think that particular area would be better served with a tiny home in the premises or in the neighborhood.
And that would be a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's what it is now, so basically all the rules and regulations that would apply to a mobile home or modular home, we could incorporate and also apply to tiny homes, but they'd have to follow the same paperwork, follow all the same rules, and then get all the signatures from all the neighbors, and then submit that application to you for final approval. And one of the lines on that is essentially that you have to consider is whether this particular home would be a good fit for a particular neighborhood.
Gotcha.
But since there is so much discrepancy, and it just seems like towns are like going one way or the other, I've gone ahead and thought like here, so you can kind of tell me and Steve what you want to do, and that way I can get an ordinance put together that what y'all would want. Because I think, I don't want to speak for Steve, but I think the best solution is just taking the tiny homes and kind of incorporating with our modular homes. You agree with that, or?
I like it.
So do we wanna do that, or do we wanna do no action so we can kinda look at some of the guidelines and decide?
Well, if I know that's the direction you want, then I can get some examples put together so that when we come back, we actually have an ordinance that y'all can vote.
Yeah, I definitely think
If
that's a
that
good
makes
idea.
sense. I just didn't wanna, get a bunch of ordinances and y'all decide, no, we don't care, or no, we're just gonna restrict it completely, because that's gonna be completely different than, this other stuff.
Okay. So we'll just make a motion to allow you to create an ordinance and see, work out the kinks like that. Do you wanna put that on, do we wanna table it, or do we wanna
Well,
leave it to you just to create an ordinance and then we can review it at the next meeting?
Create an ordinance that incorporates, but basically similar to our mobile modular.
Okay,
That's what you wanna do?
yes, so I'll make a
Okay.
motion for you to create an ordinance to join it with our mobile home deal to follow guidelines for tiny homes.
Second.
Vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
All right, item 10, discussion and possible action to adopt the fiscal year 2025 annual budget as presented by the interim city manager on the attached budget summary.
I presented the budget, during the public hearing, so we just need to, move forward and, we
Make a motion to adopt the fiscal year budget of 2025.
Second,
I'll second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Discussion and possible action regarding adopting a policy related to online bill payments, including the possibility of implementing a potential date each month where online bill payments will no longer be processed or discontinuing service.
Mayor, we talked about this last month. I know we were supposed to pull numbers. I was gone. We don't have the numbers. I will say that today, the utility billing clerk and I kind of figured out a little better way to review everybody that paid online before it actually hits the bank. So I'm going to request that we, maybe table it again until next month, just so I can see how everything worked out with what we did. Today was penalty day, and I got her some information, and hopefully that helps the calls, and if not, then we'll talk about it again next month, and then I'll also have numbers for you next month, but I did get her some information that kind of helped with that today. Let's just see how that goes.
So
So
we
no-
look to next month's meeting, which will be.
I'm asking if we could, yes, please.
Let me get a date. The 3rd,
July the 3rd?
or July the 2nd, I'm sorry. For the 4th of July?
So it's July 2nd?
July
Oh,
2nd.
okay.
If we
So-
table it, we don't need anything.
We just have to give a date, July the 2nd, for
Okay.
the next meeting.
All right, moving on to item 12, discussion and possible action regarding the approval of a non-exclusive facilities license agreement between the city of Mangum and Chisholm Broadband to allow Chisholm to mount broadband internet equipment at the top of each of the city's water towers.
Hello. Sorry. First, I want to say thank you guys to the commission for giving us this opportunity to join in our initiative, just like the whole state has, of bringing internet connectivity to everyone. So not necessarily just the residents here within town, but it's your residents that live out in the county, that live on the outskirts and stuff, who maybe aren't being provided or going to be provided by fiber to the home carriers or something that are moving into town right now. The use of your water towers will give us a better penetration to farther out into the area so that we can expand coverage to everybody that's out there. So our request right now, of course, is to have permission onto your water towers. I don't know what else to say. We're amazing, no. But any questions that you have or anything like that, we're here for whatever.
Oh, this is different from the Dobson contract, correct? This is totally different.
Correct, yes, we are different than Dobson. We're not here to compete with Dobson here. We actually have a really good working relationship with Dobson. We're trying to extend coverage out to the areas that Dobson isn't reaching here.
Will our city employees need to do anything with this project?
No. The FCC releases a map twice a year on addresses that are underserved or unserved completely with internet coverage. And they have deemed 131 addresses here in Greer County that are unserved. And we want to get to those to those addresses.
That's awesome. Do you guys see any concerns with it?
I would say we need as much technology service as we can get because
It's become such a vital
well, it is.
component
Use
to
it for
everyday's
everything.
life.
I'm like, it can't keep up, even just the ones that are already here cannot keep up with the demand, so, and that's in a town this size, so I can only imagine.
Yes.
I did meet with I want to say the superintendent. I didn't recognize him without his ball cap. Anyway, I met with him and he and I talked about the elevated tower as an example. There's quite a bit of old equipment that's up there. We want to be better than that. As we move forward with this, if we were given permission, as we mount, we don't drill, weld, glue. I mean, if in the event that we need to pull off, it's going to be given back to you in the exact same shape that we receive it. Also, absolutely no damage or no, I mean, as you guys are maintaining your towers, our stuff is not in the way, and it will work with them to make sure that our equipment is not going to hinder you in any way. So.
How do you attach it?
In the case of the elevated here in town, it's basically clamped. You clamp to there's a series of, how would you describe it? There's a series of bars that go around, and we're just going to clamp onto it. The other tower that's up west of Granite has like a little snorkel on top, which we would clamp to the snorkel and then build a platform out to just rest on it. So in the event that wind or storms come through, it's solid, absolutely solid.
Chris, do you have any concerns? No? Okay.
All right, any other questions?
We would love to get you service. So.
Thank you guys for coming and speaking.
Yes,
Thank you for
thank
having
you.
us.
All right, a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve
Second?
item number 12.
I'll second.
Vote?
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Item 13, discussion and possible action regarding accepting the payment of $83,245 from the Purple Wave auction items declared surplus on February the 5th, 2024, with such proceeds being distributed as follows: golf, $15,205, police, $13,700, parks and cemetery, $8,350, streets, $7,100, electric, $46.25, water, $25,575, shop, $3,155, recycle, $3,125, and animal control, $300. and general 2110.
I'll make a motion to approve accepting the payment of $83,245 from Purple Wave.
Second,
Second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve, for taking that on and cleaning it up.
We appreciate it.
Item 14, discussion and possible action regarding paying the invoice in the amount of $5,185 to R.S. Meacham CPA and Advisor for the work on the fiscal year 23 audit.
So our consultants go in our system and get all of the paperwork that they need to present to our actual auditor, and that's her fee. And like I said, she's doing 2 years in a row, so they've been they worked on that while I was out on medical.
Is it 23 and 22 that they're doing? All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment for $51.85 to RSM Merchant CPA.
Second,
I'll second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Item 15, discussion and possible action regarding soliciting bids from all banking institutions within the city of Mangum for competitive rates and authorization to allow the city manager to withdraw and deposit funds from the banking institutions that provide the best rates for the city's depository accounts.
Commissioners, as I was saying earlier, there are, interest rates have gone up and has helped us out with revenue. And I think that if I'm allowed to talk with the other banks, just to be sure that our money is sitting in the best place for the city. So I wanna look into making sure that our checking accounts, savings accounts are in the proper place. Also, I know one of these banks even helps out with, our online, that, if we choose that bank, they take care of our online for free. So that's also something that we try to look into. I know that when a couple of city managers ago, we talked to several banks, came and visited us, and they have really good options, but then it kind of stopped. So I want to start talking with banks to make sure that we have our money in the right place. And then, of course, if, I'll gather something together. If it's where it needs to be, we leave it alone, and if not, then, we'll have it on future agendas. So I just need to start looking and talking and,
To be able to bring it to the board. I feel like we approved this, but
I think we did.
we did.
before,
I was
yes,
gonna
and
say,
it
just a
kinda
couple
fell
meetings ago,
through.
it was, yeah, it was
Yes.
already approved, so.
Do we need a motion to approve again?
I would just do it, just so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Item 16, discussion and possible action regarding accepting $2,000 donation from Kingdom Community for the purchase of new badges for the police department.
I mean, they're giving us money, so yeah, obviously, we'll make a motion to accept it.
It's just basically amending our current budget, so.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Item number 16.
Second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
All right, item 17, discussion and possible action regarding entering into an interlocal agreement with the Greer County Sheriff's Office that includes conveying the Armory Building to Greer County for conversion into a county jail and determining the considerations for the conveyance, which may include services in kind, monetary payment, reversionary interest, relocation of dispatch to a city-owned building, or other fair compensation.
You're up, sir.
Oh, I mean, this is y'all's discussion now. I mean, in all reality, this is y'all's discussion. I've said everything I can.
This is what Mr. Kendall gave the board today.
Okay.
So I put a letter of intent, which isn't quite an interlocal agreement, but because again, it's gonna be these are
Negotiated.
difficult, trying to get all the contractor and stuff like that. But essentially, a letter of intent says this is gonna be the basis of our agreement and people can rely on this. It's just that we shouldn't let the paperwork stop from moving forward. And so I provided that to y'all to look at. so that so the sheriff can have something that he can take to his board on Monday to vote on, so then we can finalize the paperwork. Because ultimately, what this may end up looking like is an interlocal agreement, and if it is, I mean, the Attorney General's office has to approve on that. And as we know from the EMS process, that could be a 60 to 90-day process after the two boards accept it. So this just says this is what we're doing to move forward. And really what we're really talking about is essentially selling them the building. They talked about reversionary interest. I do not think a reversionary interest is actually in the city's best interest, because the question that we really have to have as cities, do we want a building back that has been refitted for a jail? And if the answer to that question is no, then we really have no interest for it to revert to us, because that would require the city to invest money to deconvert it to something else. So really, we're trying to figure out what is gonna be the consideration to essentially sell the building to the county. Because again, I don't think it's in our best interest to necessarily get it back. And so there's a lot of ideas that was floated around. I kinda encapsulated those in the agreement as paragraphs, I'm pulling it up on what that looks like. A couple paragraphs, A through E, as far as what the county can do. Number one is the county can just pay us for the building as a monthly rate for certain months just to purchase the facility. That's something that we'd have to appraise for to make sure we're getting the most competitive rates for any sort of setting. Something else that I put in there is something the sheriff suggested, and that is the waiving the booking fees associated for any municipal inmates booked at the jail. And then, of course, another option to help pay for the county pay for this is the 2 free beds that would be immediately offered at the current jail, and then 5 free beds once the armory is moved. Another, something else that the sheriff suggested as well was that we have access to county inmates related projects when available from the sheriff, because he can't let every inmate that's there out on service detail. I mean, there's a lot of restrictions there. And then something else that I also included is also getting this dispatch situation worked out, because that's been hanging out there for several months. I'm not blaming the sheriff on that, but you know, it is a county issue as well. And I think if we're going to enter in this interlocal agreement, then I think we also need to put the dispatch situation to bed as well, as far as, and I think we can also do that in an interlocal agreement. Because again, the city will again transfer the county, the armory inclusive of all land, buildings, appurtenances, and anything else, give them warranty deed, they can refit it, and they have free of all liens and encumbrances, and we're not, it's yours. That we will continue to provide dispatching services for the county, and a location of service dispatch center that we would, you know, we got a tenant in there, so we'd have to get that tenant out, and then grant them immediate access to the armory as soon as we get that tenant out. But they can actually have access to other parts of the building, and then while we wind down that other contract. So that's what I kinda came up with to give to you as things to think about. I can make changes and additions to this based on your input, but I feel like this was kind of a discussion, taking what he did, what that letter he provided us, and kind of expanded upon that. The other issues that I put in there that addressed is essentially this is intended to be in perpetuity, but again, he says it's gonna be 15 years paid off. So, obviously we wanted to be in perpetuity, but of course, since we're all government entities, we can't obligate future fiscal years, so that language would be in there. We'd operate as an independent, basically independent contractor, so each one would indemnify and hold the other liable for anything that comes under this. This would be effective once both boards approve of it, and then the idea is to try to have a final contract in place by July 15th. We meet on July 2nd, so, you know, it kind of gave us a little bit of runway there. And then, we'll have a new dispatch center operational. Again, we're hoping July 1, 2024, and that everybody knows that the Attorney General's office just has to approve this, any final agreement. So, that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's just very bare bones. The other agreement will have other things in there, but just to get everybody's letter of intent, that's what's called letter of intent, this is what we intend to contract with.
And your meeting's on Monday?
Yeah, I have a meeting every Monday.
Every Monday, okay. How quickly do we know how quickly we could get an appraisal done?
We could probably go pretty quick if we want to go the sell route. You could probably get hold of a realtor and probably get one within a week if you want to go that option.
And we can set that in terms of coming up with an amount and they can either pay it out monthly till it's paid off or in full, if that's the route we decide to go.
Yeah, if that's the route we decide to go. But again, I just want to reiterate, I do not think a reversionary interest serves the city's purpose. No, I'm confident that the sheriff's plan will be successful, but should it not be, and there's, you know, do we
There's a
want to
lot
have
at
to take a
stake.
building and stuff like that, you know, it's just, I think it's just another building that we won't have the funds to do with down the road. And if he's successful, we're never going to get back anyway, so it's not like we're losing the property. In fact, we're, in a way, maybe saving a little revenue from us having to insure and mow and we pay utilities and all that stuff.
So because it is such an investment for the county, we could do even all, like B through E.
Yeah, I
And
just,
be able to
I just
help
kind of.
them improve our community.
Correct, I just kind of spitball ideas, you know, so, I mean, that's the thing, just what do we want in return? If for us deeding the county the building, what does the city want in return? And those are the ideas that has been, made today, either through, Sheriff Pac-Man's letter, or, you know, the conversations we've had amongst ourselves. So that's kind of the idea, is these are the ideas. And we can say, okay, we're gonna approve this, but take out paragraph E or whatever. And I could run next door and I could and make those few changes.
I always think cash is best, obviously, you know, because we have finances to look after too, but in consideration for what you're doing for the community, my opinion is that we don't further burden you guys and we help. Because, I mean, even the inmates are gonna be a large help to us to be able to have inmates again for community projects, and that will be a huge financial help. And physical, that's my opinion.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
So on E, county will agree to relocate dispatch to a city-owned facility. Can you define that?
I think that's been defined, you know what you want.
No, I know, but the county will agree to relocate dispatch. I mean, what are we talking? Because if you're talking 911, it's county 911, but they are their own entity.
Yeah.
And so I can't really, in all reality, the commissioners can't speak for them or enter into an agreement with them or for them.
Well, I would hope that if the county's on board, then 911 would also be on board.
Well,
That way we can all get on the same page about things.
and I can agree that we need to be on the same page. I just don't know that that's gonna be I can't guarantee that, you know. Because, I mean, they're their own entity. And the letter that they put out, I don't know if it was given to you guys or not, but they are opposed to it. I have no skin in the game. I own some radios, an FCC license, and a facility over there. Computer, different stuff like that.
But the county would agree to allowing us to continue to use this, to use those as for dispatch.
Yeah, I wouldn't have an issue. The issue is gonna be 911. And so I can't speak, and I don't know that the commissioners can. We discussed that yesterday. When I saw the agenda over the weekend, I threw out everything that I thought because I had no idea what we were looking at. Threw out everything that I could think of that might come up. And the 911's stance on that was the trust authority stance was reiterated by the commissioners, so I can try. I don't know that I can deliver that one. So, as far as my FCC license, all that stuff, that's not gonna be an issue. But the other one, you know, with them being their own entity, that would have to be a decision or an agreement that they would have to enter into themselves.
Well, hopefully E911 also sees the importance of a new jail as well.
Yeah.
Because I sure would hate for that to be the one that sinks this entire agreement.
Well, I would agree. But, you know, for whatever reason that, I mean, again, I'm not on that board. I'm not part of those meetings and not privileged to those conversations. So, I mean, I'm standing here tonight. I'll work with you on what I can work with on my side. So, I just need to know what to take to my commissioners next week. Pardon me. And then also, sorry, let me get back to so your next, we would try to have this done by the 15th, correct, or July 2nd meeting?
Yeah, basically, if we have an agreement that both our board and your board agrees to, then I will draft up the agreement. It will be back on the agenda July 2nd. We would approve it the following Monday, then I'd send it to the Attorney General for their approval on the interlocal agreement.
Okay.
But the letter of intent would be the agreement that your guys can rely on, because we don't want the paperwork to slow down progress.
Yeah. I would agree with with y'all's attorney that this would probably be in the city's best interest, that you don't want the building back. I mean, that was something that was discussed in some conversation, and so that's why it was put into my stuff, but I don't know why you would.
Corey, do you think it would be best suited to continue to go back and forth with this? Because it sounds like we're already gonna start hitting walls with the 911 being that it's part of the agreement, or to just set up a special meeting between our board and theirs and be able to hash it out with each other. And if the 911 wants to come aboard and hash that out, I just think it's gonna get taken care of more quickly if we
I agree with
are
that.
able to just be able to make decisions amongst each other versus because I think that's just gonna cause it to get even more.
If you want to include it in this jail deal, then you're probably right. But again, those are options that y'all may decide that you don't want each part of the jail agreement. You don't want to worry about the dispatch part of the jail agreement. But again, I included that because that was part of the conversation when I was.
But I think it needs to be, it's gotta be settled at some point. This has been going on way, way too long, and it's really a lot of nonsense, I don't think, for really a lot of apparent reasons. So, I mean, my suggestion would be to set up a special meeting between the two boards and try to hash out agreements.
Board and the county commissioners.
Yeah, and the 911 board if they wanna come for that aspect of it, since.
Well, I mean,
They can
they would have to. If
Well, I
you
mean, yeah, they're going to.
If you want a decision from them, they're gonna have to be a
Right.
part of it. And that's just the way.
Well, like I talked to the sheriff the last time, it's time that we all start working together, that's 911 included. And we're all doing the same exact thing, we want the best interests of the city, the sheriff's department, the jail, and 911. But we also need something in return as well. I mean, where we talked about inmates, I want something solid that says we are going to have these inmates this day, this day, this day, not
Right, yeah.
when available.
I
Because
can-
we're depending on them as well. but like-
Unfortunately, that's
but like
not,
he's
I mean,
saying, unfortunately, we can't promise anything.
the state
So-
statute limits who I can release out to do those things. They have to be county sentenced. And
So that's a void already, so we need to really pay attention to what we're doing, because we keep helping and we get no help. in
well,
return.
let me say this, because a year ago, my department helped the city because we were bound to, okay? And not once did I ever say, what can we get out of this? So, That bothers me. I want you to get as much as you can out of this. I'm a citizen here. I've invested my career here. And I hope I get to invest the rest of my career here. But to insinuate that the city is the only one that's been giving is not accurate.
Not directly to the sheriff's department, in general. We're helping a lot of people in general. And we also, we need inmates
Yeah.
as well, but like I said, we can't promise anything, so that's scratched out. The
Well,
dispatch is
I mean, it's not
out.
scratched out, Madam City Manager. It's still there. It's just not a guarantee Tuesday through Thursday, you know? So, I mean, I can, and so also on the tenant that's in there now, when are you looking at?
We would have to require like a 30-day notice.
I mean, is there a current contract that is set to run out?
Yeah, I think we just have to provide a 30-day notice to
Okay.
not renew, then, so that's not an issue.
Okay.
Current contract says yes, but give them
Yeah.
that.
So,
Okay.
but, so even if, that's, but that should be, like, if we get this letter of intent agreed to, we would send a notice out. you
Yeah.
know? And so it wouldn't really, but you would still have access immediately to every part not being utilized
Yeah.
by that tenant.
So basically, the admin portion up front. and-
Yeah.
And different stuff. So
So,
you're looking at, probably the closest, I don't know what the second Monday is, or
yeah.
the meeting after my meeting after the second would be in 30 days after. Is that accurate? Okay.
So do you want to, Steve, reach out to your board and kind of get dates and times where they can all be present? And then we'll make a day work where we can meet with each other?
Yeah, I can talk to him. I'll talk to him on Monday morning.
Okay. I just think that's gonna alleviate
And,
a lot of headache. you
and
know?
of course, end of fiscal year, I've got a meeting on the 17th, 24th, and 28th. And so, just because of our end of the year meetings, our budgets, different stuff like that. With that being said, hopefully we can make that happen, before the end of the fiscal year. And I only say that because the second is just right around the corner.
Right, yeah. So do we want to, we can't really table it because we don't have a specific date.
To meet with their members.
Yeah, until he finds out when they can actually meet and when, make sure.
Are you guys going to, I mean, are you guys looking at taking A off the table completely? I mean, I'll just tell you right now, it's Gurr County. We're the second poorest county in the state. So, that's based off current numbers. So, based on ad valorem. And only 9 million ahead of Harmon County.
That's them buying the building, what he's asking.
I'm good with taking it off.
And the only reason I ask is because if you have to have somebody come in and do an appraisal on it, you know, obviously we can't meet next week, unless it's off the table. Because I don't know that you would have a number back for that.
Jack, can I ask a question? I'm just curious what the cost of the Army is to the city.
Our insurance and everything, I think that was on the last one. It's,
1,200 in 3 months, I believe.
and that's just the insurance.
Insurance.
Yeah.
And then the utility.
I mean, just the total expenses. What expense would you be washing your hands of? This is the question, okay?
So, if the commissioners don't want to adopt a letter of intent tonight, instead, if you want to to explore like a special meeting, I think the appropriate action would probably just be to essentially take no action on that, and then just have, and this y'all's perspective, your people talk to their people, get one scheduled, is the best I can suggest.
I would agree with that. I think we just need to discuss some things before we eliminate or add to, or it's just too much back and forth to me to make a decision where we haven't, like, I feel like we need to discuss it with their board, and I think we need to talk, there's just a lot that we need, I feel like need to figure out before we make a permanent decision. I would like, I mean, as soon as possible, I'll make whatever I need to work to be there to meet with them as quickly as possible, but.
To have a special meeting, meet with them.
And that will include the 911 board?
Yeah, we'll get them all on.
I mean, that's gonna be up to them.
We'll reach out to them, they can come or not.
I mean,
Well, that's.
I coulda-
Was that you, right? Bill? Are you the 911?
he's,
No?
he's the emergency management director, so.
Just remember, it has to be 48-hour posted meeting.
Correct, yeah. So, he talks to, what is today, Tuesday?
So technically, I mean, you could probably, today's Tuesday, so technically you could post and actually put their meeting on Monday.
And you guys meet at 9?
We meet at 9, yeah.
You just have to post the agenda and decide where you're gonna meet and that.
Which ours is a special meeting, so our agenda has to be posted Thursday morning.
So that's what I'm saying, you could call me if y'all are available. You could call me and you could post it
We can let you know this evening.
tomorrow,
And post it up tomorrow, and then they can put it on their agenda as well.
and call me and say that y'all just have to, since if it's gonna be in a different location, you do have to specify which location it's gonna be at. So you could technically call a special meeting on Monday.
I need to look at my book. I can move people, I just have to be able to move them, so I can text you tonight, but I know Monday I should be able to move it.
And if they're meeting every Monday, what I'm saying is, you know they're gonna be available then.
Right, they're all together already.
So we could set it and reach out to the 911 and go from there.
Would we be able to make a decision that day?
If, since it's a called meeting, yeah.
We don't have to wait.
So we can just negotiate back and
Yeah,
forth.
if it's a
and set
called
the terms
meeting
while
and
we're
y'all
there.
all meet together and hash this out, y'all can make a decision and,
And then they wouldn't have to wait till July 2nd.
Right.
I
because
just
the
think
whole
it's a
idea of
better
doing it this way is if we haven't know what we want, they agree with the letter, then we can have a final agreement done. So I just think it's gonna be delayed. And I can still get letter of intent.
Done, yeah.
Done, and then, because it's gonna take a while to circulate the contract. But we just have something in writing that they have,
So they can get started and give our notice to the people that are there.
because again, even if we walked out of agreement, the AG's office still takes a few months to approve it. I think the last one took about 60 days.
Do you wanna verify that they're good on Monday, or you think they'll be fine with that?
I'll have to verify that.
Just let-
Because, like I said, we're at our end of the year stuff, and our agendas look a lot like yours.
Very
And so,
lengthy?
yes. And so, and in regards to, I've already got an agenda item on our agenda regarding the armory and the 92-bed facility. So it would, Corey, you might be able to speak better than I could on that, but it would fall into the premises of that. And then basically the special meeting would be you guys and the 911 Trust Authority. And that's, again, that's if they can get their people there as well. I can't guarantee anything. Like I said, that's why I asked for definition of relocating dispatch, because on my stuff, it's whatever. But I don't have a say on the other. I will say this, we've got, I'm going on month 8 of this. April, I was here. May, I was here. June, I'm here. The longer we go, the less likely it is that this is going to be able to happen. And that's all I can say.
Well, and that's why if we can meet on Monday, we can get it hammered out, and you guys aren't waiting
Yeah.
until the 16th.
Yeah.
So at least we'll have them, because once he can draw up that letter, then you guys are a go, we can give our notice, and it's,
I will say that visited with my architects and contractors yesterday, and some of the prices on new stuff is not as high, and they're confident that we can do a new one, as long as we have the land, and conversation's been had on that, so that'll be a decision that my commissioners would have to make. So both would be no cost to the citizens. You know, obviously, you know, saving the city the having a burden of a building down there doing, you know, just sitting there, you know, you don't have to look very far to see what happens when they're not used. The front half of that building is going to start looking like some of those other ones, but obviously the shell of it is solid. That's why it was one of my first options to bring before you guys. So, but I will say that they have instructed me that if we can't get this worked out, then a new one can be done the same way at no cost to the citizens. So,
Good. At least there's options.
okay.
so he just needs to let you know if we're all good for Monday.
Yeah, y'all just coordinate it.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all get at least 3 all day.
Yeah.
So Monday at 9.
As long as he's gonna talk to his board and make sure that they're good with that, and then we'll have to reach out to the 911 board.
No action on item 17?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to item 18, discussion and possible action regarding the status of relocating dispatch to a city-owned building, including the possibility of hiring or assigning another entity or third party to accelerate the move with the expectation that the relocation be completed on or before July 1st, 2024.
Mayor, I think we'll wait to talk with 911 and the county on Monday,
Okay.
so we'll do nothing on this.
All right. Item 19, discussion of possible action regarding the approval of the letter of interest to the Oklahoma Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics for consideration in the airport construction program, which may provide financing for runway rehab or repair during the state's FY 2027 budget year.
This is a letter that we got from Aeronautics Board. And they're wanting our signatures. I guess mine and Irma's on there, but Irma kind of said, well, let's present this to you guys before we do it. They're calling it a letter of interest. I don't think it's anything that's really binding us to that. Does that make any sense? But when Irma and I looked at it, we said, well, before we sign our name on this, let's present it to you guys and see what you guys thought about it. Pretty simple, I think. I mean,
This is just basically when they, I don't even cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Essentially what this is they're about to put out a budget for projects. And we're just saying, we want to be considered, and we have the money to provide our share of it. And so basically, if it gets approved, we basically get the runway fixed. So it's basically kind of applying for a grant without
With-
actually paying
with
for
them
money.
applying.
Making sure the money's there if we want to move forward with it.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Like 5% of the total cost.
Yeah, so
We would pay
47,500.
$950,000.
We were
if it's approved.
Yeah, it says that we will set aside.
This is just
5%.
to start the process to
Yeah.
see if they can get it approved.
Because
and then
if we
get
don't
hearings,
need
so-
it, we don't have to apply for it.
Gotcha.
But if we need it and we don't do this, then we're SOL.
Yeah.
So if we sign this, we're good?
Yep.
I'm not signing whatever we do.
Do you have reservations about it, Irma?
No, I don't. Gordon's talked to them several times.
Yeah, they wanted this back like a month ago, but with Irma being out and stuff, and we just, I got to present it to you guys right away. And I talked to this guy, and he said, that's fine, it's never be get back to this.
So I'll make a motion to approve item number 19.
Second,
I'll second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Item 20, discussion of possible action regarding terminating the new generation conceptual engineering study from Sargent and Lunday, approved by the City Commissioners on February 8th, 2022. Sargent and Lunday completed Phase 1 of the study and submitted its invoice and conclusions from the study on May 7th, 2024. Phase 1 of the study cost $13,850.
So this is the study that has been going on for a couple of years regarding that power plant and what it costs, and you've seen that on the last agenda. ONPA wants to know what we're gonna do with it. Are we going to move forward with any repairs or the project that I believe was $5 million, or be done with it?
For the power plant? Well, it was $16 million, 8 to 16, but they said closer to 16 million. And that was if that grant was available, and that has never come down the pipeline for us to apply for. So that was kind of where we stood, as if we applied for it and could get approved, great, we would move forward.
We have to submit paperwork saying we're not going to go forward with the project.
So if the grant were to come available in the future, does this cause us not to be able to apply for that, or they're just saying, as of now and the way things sit, we have no interest in, or no ability to repair it?
Correct. And this was started, I think, a couple of years ago when, Dave was here.
February 2022.
Yeah, he had them come in right before he left,
Yes.
for the second engineering study that we did.
Yes. To see what we could get done with it.
Right.
That 16 million, that was to bring it up to the capacity it has now, if I remember correctly.
Well, 8 to 16 million, depending on how much of a capacity we wanted to run. But they said the
But that was
minimum was
initial
8
start.
million. Just to start to do something with it. But with that, they said it wouldn't run the town.
No, no.
Right, so it didn't
But
make
we
any sense to go
Also
that
don't
route.
have $8 million or $16 million.
Correct, well, that's why we only entertained it if that grant became
Yeah.
available, and that never came down the pipeline, so I don't know. We talked to SWOTA about it just a couple meetings ago, and they still had not heard any updates on when that was gonna come available, so I would say right now that we need to go ahead and inform them that we're going to not move forward until we find out if there's gonna be a grant available, cause clearly we don't have that kind of money to do that with.
I agree.
All right, so a second for that.
I'll second that.
Vote.
Chapman?
You're up. Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
All right, item 21, discussion and possible action to approve the use of $23,275 in ARPA funds to be paid out as department head bonuses, longevity pay, hire of bonuses, et cetera, per the city manager's request.
Commissioners, last year we had longevity department head bonuses and hire on bonuses, and we requested to use this $23,000 last year, and we never did. And so it's back up on, we did department head bonuses and longevity pay, but we took it out of our regular salaries, because we had enough. But this is for this fiscal year. But this time we're gonna go ahead and use that ARPA. We had it set aside last year and we never used it.
Which is what it was intended for
Yes.
initially.
Although this number is going to be less I said, that amount was sitting in there from last year's budget, we just didn't use it.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 21.
Second,
Second.
vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Item 22, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer employee, specifically to discuss details regarding the interim city manager in accordance with 25 OS 307B1.
I'll make a motion to enter executive session.
Second.
Vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Gray?
We're in open session.
Okay.
So now you can.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we put Irma Mora in as our full-time city manager effective July the 1st.
Second,
Second.
vote.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Chapman?
Yes.
Alright, item 24, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer employee, specifically to discuss details regarding the city attorney in accordance with 25 OS 307B1.
I'll make a motion to go in executive session.
Second.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
We're in executive session as of 7:52.
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
We are in regular session as of 8:07.
Okay.
And item number.
Alright,
20?
moving on, okay.
What's it,
28.
25?
Yeah.
I'm like, where are we at? Which
25?
executive session? So no action.
Okay.
No
yes.
action.
Okay, there we are. Item 26, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appoint, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salary, public officer, or employee, specifically discuss details regarding the interim city clerk in accordance with 25 OS 307B1.
I'll make a motion to enter executive session.
Second.
Vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
We're in executive session as of 8:08.
Vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
We're out of executive session as of 8:37 p.m.
Okay, and I am going to make a motion to put Cody Gutierrez in as our new interim city clerk effective July the 1st.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Mark?
Yes.
Dixie?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
We've lost last name.
Welcome, Cody.
Thank you.
Item 28, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appoint, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee, specifically to discuss details regarding the police chief in accordance with 25 OS 307B1.
I'll make a motion to enter executive session.
Second.
Vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee? We're in executive session.
Second.
Vote.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peggy Pearson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
All right, we need no action, right?
Yeah, no action.
All right, are there any staff or board remarks? Any new business?
Yes, we do have new business. Steve, do you want to talk about your new business first?
We talked last meeting about getting the water tower inspected.
Mhm.
So after that meeting, I went and called the last one to inspect it, which is the inland potable services. Our last inspection was 2015. So it's
Due.
overdue. So we need, I guess, we approve for $6,300.
So do we want to go ahead and make a motion for that?
Hold up. Is that for the tank stuff?
Yes, but we just got the information about how much it's gonna cost for it.
Inland potable?
Yeah.
That's item 11 on the
MUA.
MUA.
Oh, so it is?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought I saw them there too.
Say, we got.
Yeah, it's okay.
we got the-
That's
So when we get into the next one, we can approve it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll get to the mower. Our Parks Department's mower broke down, and we got a quote today for that because we had to hurry and get it. So that's that John Deere in front of y'all. There is money in the budget.
Didn't we already approve them to buy a new mower?
No, this is, we approved in our budget to have an additional mower, but their current mower is broke down.
It's also done, so we've gotta get another
Yeah,
one.
and we had to get all of this today, so it's in front of y'all.
So this is not the one that we just bought like a year ago. This would be to replace a different one.
Yes.
Now, is this one, because Steve, we've talked about this a million times over, is this a residential mower or is this a commercial mower?
It should be a commercial, because might know, residential.
I just didn't see where it said commercial on here, and I thought the commercial ones were closer to 10,000,
What's, I don't know.
7,300.
I think we paid 8,000 something last time.
Yeah, it's a commercial mower.
It is, I just wanna make sure that that's what we're buying, cause there's no wait time or
It
reason
says
to spend money
suggested
on
list,
a regular
83 for
residential.
selling price, 73.
So we just make a motion to approve that, and they have to be able to mow this summer, so I don't see a way around it.
Yes, because they're,
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a new mower for the Parks Department.
Second.
Second.
Vote.
Chapman? Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Any more new business?
that's it.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Wait.
You wanna talk about the,
Oh.
chip and seal on this one, or?
Is it this one or the
Sure, it's
MUA
gonna be this
side?
one.
Okay, so,
Okay, sorry.
go ahead and
Just kidding.
tell them your,
Mark's been visiting with me, trying to get me to check on grant and stuff for chip and seal. So the county doesn't do it anymore. Used to, we'd buy the materials, the county would come in and do roads.
They got rid of all their equipment, is that correct?
Well, I don't think they got rid of it, but I was under the impression that, it's in bad shape, not usable. You know, kind of like my work stuff was for a while. Anyway, so I've checked into it, and the people that come do it charge like $1 a square foot, so it's pretty expensive. And so I called a guy to come and give us quotes on, you got that paper that shows the roads that
yes.
he came down and we visited about, these roads. And the reason I picked these roads, especially, Byers from Lincoln to Taft, Taft from Byers was Fiddle, that's two of our main roads. And if you go down Taft, you'll see cracks everywhere. I mean, it's one of our newest roads, but it's getting in bad shape. I mean, we can fix potholes, but you have to chip and seal or reseal somehow. So anyway, I got Hayes from Penn to Lewis Tittle, Van Buren from Lewis Tittle, Oklahoma, Jefferson from Oklahoma to the church, right here by the bank,
Mhm.
and Tyler from Lewis Tittle to Kern. And he didn't give me the square footage of it, but he said it figured out to be like 135,000. And after we talked, he said if we would do it, he would come down to 118,000, which makes it about 40 cents a square foot. So, in our street and alley fund, I have, I think, 102 or 104,000. I was gonna need like 16,000 more screws to do it. Cause I have checked on a grant, you know, I was gonna try to get a matching grant, get double done. But
Right.
we're not eligible for any street grant because our water deal is still pending, whatever that.
You can only apply for so many until the
Yeah.
projects are complete,
Yeah, so
correct?
We're gonna wait for a matching grant for probably another year.
And do you think they can wait that long?
The roads.
Mhm.
long
We
as
don't
wait
lose
for
sight
the
of
worst
tax
to
rate.
get, but-
Correct, which means the more we're gonna do, the more it's gonna cost, so.
Right, and there's
There's
probably
no
more
guarantee
roads
we
if
get a
we do
grant
get a
anyway,
grant.
it's just a
Correct,
process,
yeah,
you know.
you just hope so.
So the 102,000 that we already have, that's earmarked for road
Street,
repairs already?
yes.
But does that interfere with like fixing potholes and stuff?
No.
No, that's separate.
So it's just been sitting, waiting.
Yeah, it's a fund that I kinda knew was there, and, you know, she got going through the budget and found where it was there.
they have a special revenue fund
Do
for the street
we-
and alley that,
Have anything left in ARPA once we purchase our equipment that we're purchasing?
No, not really. It was at 313,000 we got in our current budget. Coming up, during the retreat, we approved the roll-off. And then,
excavator thingy. whatever.
well, the excavator was from the dispatch money that we didn't transfer.
That's right.
We transferred it to that.
And the box truck took up, I thought we had
And then the 23,000 we held for the,
extra.
yeah, for the department hire on bonuses and stuff, but Stephen, you're gonna be doing the work, or we're hiring somebody to do the work?
Hiring, we'll
We
go
don't
through
pay
and
equipment.
get the road ready for them to seal, like filling the holes and we'll fill in the sides, and they'll come in and they'll lay the tar and the gravel on.
Okay, so since this falls under a construction contract and the amount is what we're talking about, we're gonna actually have to follow the Public Competitive Bid Act first.
So I have to put up for 3 bids.
Yeah, you're gonna have to publish it, run it, have a bid open and all that other stuff, so I put the bid packet together, which we could do ourselves instead of hiring an engineer to do it for us, because, you know,
Yeah.
it's the same on the, because this is, kinda seems to be like a pretty easy
So we just
project.
need to approve moving forward with the
Yes.
process of getting the bids.
Yeah.
Allowing him to reach for bids and
Yeah.
get our 3 bids.
And
in
I'm
then.
just letting you know, there is a very good chance that even if you did put it out bids, that the guy Steve's talked to is probably the only person that's gonna bid it, because it's, I'm just being honest.
Right.
Because El Dorado just put out a.
So can we do it for like 30 days instead of, normally we've done it for 90, but.
I have to look to see if what the minimums on the competitive bid act. I
Okay.
can't recall it off the top of my head.
Okay.
But it might be 30 days.
I was
But
thinking it was a minimum of 30 days.
Yeah, so that might be something we could put on, it's been the middle of June, maybe have a special meeting in July, or
wait till
in
August
August,
meeting,
where
okay.
we have the bids put out and stuff like that.
So now I can just make a motion to allow Steve to start the process for bids?
Yeah, that's what I would suggest.
To chip and seal the street?
Second,
Second?
vote,
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
okay, any other new business?
That's, Mayor, that's all that I have that I can think of that came up today.
I'll make a
Awesome.
motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Again.
yes, second and the vote,
I'll second.
Huckabee seconds, Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee, we're adjourned at way too late.
Well, we ain't even done, are we?
No, we still
Let's-
didn't really.
We got the MEA.
we're gonna get through this really quickly.
You don't even have to read all that. If it's the same ones, we'll just make a motion.
Okay.
But I don't know why I
I
don't
call
have
the
this
meeting to
one.
order,
Okay.
see you guys.
Steve, did you hear anything? Not yet. Okay. Just holler at one of us.
Yes,
Please.
Manasco,
yes, here.
Chapman? Here. Peterson?
Here.
Huckabee?
Here.
McCaslin?
All right, we have a quorum, the consent agenda. Y'all just
I'll make a motion to
second.
approve the consent agenda. I'm sorry, mine's just not pulling
That's
up.
okay.
the
Second.
CRA side.
Mine's not either.
Vote,
Manasco?
yes.
Chapman?
It's
Yes.
not.
Peterson? Huckabee?
Yes.
Yes.
Any remarks from the audience? Mike? Okay.
He's
Item
just taking
5.
statements.
Discussion and possible action regarding the approval of a non-exclusive facilities license agreement between the City of Mangum and the Chisholm Broadband to allow Chisholm to mount broadband internet equipment at the top of each of the city's water towers.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Manasco?
Yes.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Discussion and possible action regarding accepting the payment of $83,245 from the Purple Wave auction items declared surplus on February the 5th, 2024, with the proceeds being distributed as followed.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
I'll second.
vote,
Manasco?
yes.
Chapman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Discussion and possible action regarding paying the invoice in the amount of $5,185 to R.S. Meacham, CPA, and advisor for the work at the FY '23 audit.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
vote,
Manesco,
Yes.
Chapman. Yes. Peterson.
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Discussion of possible action regarding soliciting bids from all banking institutions within the city of Mangum for competitive rates and authorization to allow the city manager to withdraw deposit funds from the banking institution that provides the best rates for the city's depository accounts.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Vote,
Manesco,
yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Item,
Huckabee.
Yes.
Item 9, discussion of possible action regarding authorizing a credit on Gary Parton's bill in the amount of $263.73 due to the city billing Mr. Parton for 2 poly carts instead of 1. The credit amount is the amount Mr. Parton paid in excess of 1 poly cart over a 12-month period.
That was on the last, I think he came and spoke, and that's the amount that we owe him back.
Okay, that, have we already refunded him the first 3 months of that?
Mhm.
We did, so we'll just do the additional.
We can only do 3 months.
It won't be a refund, it'll be a credit.
A credit
Right.
on his
Mhm.
bill. So we just have to. Is there, and I'm only asking this because this is the second one we've had recently, and I just have a feeling that now, I mean, and it should, people should pay attention to their bills, I'm not saying that, but is there a way to find out when Waste Management actually picked up the second polycart, or if they ever had one?
We make work orders, and those work orders, we make a work order that says pick up the second polycart at so-and-so address, and then they sign off on it and they give it back to us and we put it in their file.
So can we call and verify that address to show, I mean, I know he does not have 2 polycarts because he literally lives right by me. I know he no longer does, but, so we can verify how long,
I believe it was just an error that it was left on.
well, I had a
on our
feeling
side.
just because the previous owner had been gone quite some time before he purchased that house. So, but I just, in the future, there is a way to check, that's the only
Mhm.
thing I was curious about.
Yes, we do work orders for them to be
Okay.
dropped off and picked up. And
Gotcha.
added and, you know, replaced and,
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve his credit.
Second.
Vote,
Manesco,
yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action regarding paying the city of Altus invoice in the amount of $3,200 for use of Altus's sewer equipment.
so we had to, I think our equipment was, I know our equipment was down. And we had
The new one?
The one before,
The new one's down.
yeah, and where did we have to do, take it to Texas, or Fort Worth or something?
Send us the parts and then send us the technician to put it on. But anyway, it was a problem with the reel on it. It
Mhm.
was all warranty work, but it just came at a bad time.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
now we got both of them fixed.
And we had a
Both of them new
huge-
ones.
But the new one that was
Yeah.
under
Fixed.
warranty was the one that went down,
The new one was, yes.
and that's when we had to hire Altus?
Yeah.
And we reached out to that company
I
to
was
pay
just
this
gonna say-
invoice, and they wouldn't do it because we didn't get the part in time, and we had a huge problem and had no choice but to reach out to Altus for help before it became a worse problem. Altus actually cut us a really good deal and gave us a break on it, or it would have been a lot more than that.
I think, I mean, obviously, we've gotta pay them, but I do think we should maybe try to push these people a little harder to reimburse some of that cost, but I'll make a motion
yeah,
to
we,
approve reimbursement.
we've been going back and forth with them. This was the one that we purchased when, Phil was here, where we had an emergency meeting and we purchased that.
When we were having all the backups in the plant and they couldn't figure out where exactly it was located, is that?
And we
was that
fought
one
back and forth, and they sent us a part, and then it wasn't that part, and then they
Okay.
sent us, that's the thing, is that a lot of these pieces of machinery, nobody around here will fix them. We've
And a lot
gotta
of them
send
go
them
out of
back to where
business.
they, it's very tough,
Do
but.
we utilize granite? I know we have in the past on their service, you know.
I can't remember what the deal was, why they couldn't find what they have.
They were busy. Granite was busy also.
Granted has come over before, you know.
But they also started to say, you know, they were over here a lot, I think, or something, because we usually reach out to Granite. Granite comes and helps us. That's usually who we call first.
They normally bring their sewer camera over, which now we've got one purchased, so that's.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
vote,
Manesco,
yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action regarding approving the water tower inspection and cleaning in the amount of $6,300 from Inland Potable Services for the cleaning and removal of up to 3 inches of sediment, interior and exterior inspection, a written report and a video of the dive.
That is what we just talked about
Okay.
with regarding the, water tower.
Alright, so
And
we-
you said it's how many years that we have to do this?
2015, I
And it's every 3 years, is that what we
think.
just?
I thought so, 5. but I-
Every 5, okay, I wasn't sure
Yeah,
if it's
I
3
can't
or
remember if
5.
it's 5 or 10, I think Steve checked last time it was 10. It's 5, sorry, yeah,
Cause we just were past the inspection time, so, okay. So we just need to make a motion to approve so they can come and inspect.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Vote,
Manasco,
yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Discussion and possible action regarding the approval of invoice 223009-7 from Myers Engineering in the amount of $1,774.05 for sanitary sewer main and wastewater treatment project. Will that be reimbursed?
Yes.
Okay, so we need a motion to.
I'll make a motion to approve. Is this the one that we're having problems getting completed?
No, that's the, electric.
Yeah, okay. All right, carry on. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
A second.
vote,
Manasco,
yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action regarding approving invoice 223138-3 from Myers Engineering in the amount of $2,790 for the assistance of the BW SRF water replacement and disbursement form.
This is the same as the other one. There's 2 invoices.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
vote,
Manasco,
yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Discussion and possible action to approve the use of $23,275 in the ARPA funds to be paid out as department head bonuses, longevity pay, hire bonuses, et cetera, for the city manager's request.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Look at you, second.
vote,
Manasco,
yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Okay, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, or disciplining, or resignation of any individual salary, public officer, or employee, specifically to discuss details regarding the interim city manager in accordance with 25 OS 3071.
I will make a motion to put Irma Mora in as the permanent city manager effective July 1st.
Second,
Second.
vote,
Chapman,
Yes.
Manasco,
yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appoint, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salary, public officer, or employee, specifically discuss details regarding the city attorney in accordance with 25 OS 3071.
No action.
19, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appoint, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salary, public officer, or employee, specifically discuss details regarding the interim city clerk in accordance with 25 OS 371.
I'll make a motion to put Cody Gutierrez in as our new interim city clerk effective July 1st.
Second.
Vote,
Manasco,
yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Staff or board remarks, does anybody have anything to say? Any new business?
No, because we approved, he had the one for the, okay, we're good.
All right, how about a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
Second. Vote,
Manasco,
yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
9:29.
By the way, y'all messed with my mind because the stupid computer says it's 7:20 and I looked at my clock, I was like, oh. I was really excited it was only 7:20 even though I knew it didn't, there was no